Welcome back, Phoenixes, and welcome back to our show. This is your place of inspiration, and hopefully, we are your source of motivation to keep getting better and keep working hard until you could reach your dreams and your goals as a chess player. Today, we have a very special guest and special coach that became young, a very strong national master at a very young age, and also now he's a renowned FIDE master who helped hundreds of people and players improve their game. We welcome FIDE master Jake Banawa. Coach Jake, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Coach Joel. Hi, everyone. I want to share you one of my games when I was still finishing my master's degree in forensic accounting at Webster University in St. Louis, Missouri. And during that time, Webster University has maybe the best collegiate chess team in the history of collegiate chess because my top teammates were Grandmaster Wesley Saw and Grandmaster Le Quang Lim, the top Grandmaster in Vietnam. So imagine playing in a team where there are a lot of superstars and Grandmasters, and it's one of my best experiences of playing chess of my life so far. And now I want to share you one of my game. It was played on around March of the year 2015. The time control was 15 minutes plus 10 seconds. I was playing against one of Cuba's chess grandmaster, Fidel Jimenez Corrales. And Fidel was playing white and I was playing black. E4. Fidel played E4. I played C5. Knight F3. D6. D4. C takes D4. And knight takes D4. And let's look at the idea of the Sicilian defense. The Sicilian, black gives up the C pawn for white's D pawn. In exchange, black gets a more central pawns, the E pawn and the D pawn, whereas white gives up the central D pawn in exchange of more space and a better square for its knight. Okay, so I played knight f6, knight c3. Fidel played. I played the a6 Najdorf. So the idea of the Sicilian Najdorf is to, uh, it's a prophylactic move to prevent the bishop from going to b5, and at the same time, black is threatening to expand on the queen side with b5, and this may be one of the most popular opening as a Sicilian, and was played by former world chess champions such as Gary Kasparov, Bobby Fischer, and that's one of the reasons why I played this opening because it's sharp. Fidel played bishop e3, played e5. Okay, knight b3. So here, black played e5. Now, whenever you play push your pawn on e5, you create a weakness on d5 and f5. But black is threatening to play bishop e6 to cover the weakness on d5. I played bishop e6. Fidel played h3. And this line, h3, the reason why white played h3 is to prevent the black knight from going to g4 to attack the bishop on e3. And also, white is planning to, white has a lot of options. He can also play g4 or g3, then fianchetto, his bishop on g2. And I remember this one uh, when uh, Grandmaster Wesley Saw and Corrales, Fidel Corrales, was analyzing this game and a lot of times. And when they play Blitz, they play this line as white. I guess it's popular. And when I look at the statistics of chess base and for this opening, it's very good for white. Bishop e7, f4. He takes f4. Bishop takes f4. and knight c6 and queen e2. Okay, so the reason why um, why the queen moved to e2 instead of putting its queen to d2 is after white castles on the queen side. Now its rook is pinning this d6 pawn. So it is a nice move, and it looks weird first, but it makes sense for white to play its queen on e2. Castle. I played knight d7. The reason why black played knight d7 is to transfer its knight to e5 later. And at the same time, remember that one of the reason why the white queen went to e2 is to, after castling, he can play e5. That's why it's a prophylactic move to prevent white from playing e5 later. Castle, knight c to e5, king b1, and this is one of those uh, things like plan. When you castle on the queen side, you want to play king b1 to get out of this pin, because sometimes black has this idea where the black bishop can go to g5 in exchange, or sometimes if the white bishop is not on f4, I have the tempo playing bishop g5 like check. So it's a prophylactic move for white to move its king out of that c1 to h6 diagonal. Castle, g4. Okay, now here's the struggle. Wait, as the black, I need to figure out how to attack the white king, because white is doing the same thing. He's trying to checkmate me on the king side. So I have to figure out what is the fastest way to create some counterattack on the queen side so I wouldn't just get checkmated on the king side. Queen c7, knight d4, and now this knight is heading to f5. Rook c8, knight f5, knight b6, maybe threatening to play knight c4, queen g2. Now, indirectly pinning or attacking the black king, because later white is going to have an idea to play g5 followed by knight h6 check. Rook e8, g5. Now he has this knight h6 check. Knight c4, bishop c1. Because after knight c4, I was threatening to play knight takes b2. Then after king takes b2, I can take the knight on c3. So Fidel played bishop c1 to protect the pawn on b2. Bishop f8, bishop to d3, g6. Maybe this is one of those controversial moves. Maybe I should have not moved the pawn in front of my king, because it's dangerous. But I'm trying to figure out in this position, if you look at black's pieces, the bishop on f8, it's inactive. And if you ask yourself, what is the best square for a bishop? I was thinking during that game, maybe I can, after the knight moves away, let's say knight g3 or knight h4, I can move my bishop on g7. Now becomes more powerful because it's going to control this diagonal. So that's why I play g6. Okay. So knight h6, king h8, knight g4, and now this is bad. After knight g4, white is threatening to play knight f6, and that's going to be a big problem against black. Because if I played, like, for example, bishop g7, then the knight goes to f6, then it gets blocked. Now my plan is useless, and I just like created a big hole on f6. So I didn't have any other choice but to take it, and this looks very good for white because I help him open up the H file. But we'll see, because I'm willing to sacrifice this pawn on H pawn in exchange of an imbalance of getting my bishop out to G7 and be able to create some counterattack. Because if I just sit here and do nothing, I'm going to get checkmated. So bishop G7, queen H2. This is one of those things that you need to be able to figure out in advance before you play h6 and taking the knight on g4. Because white is threatening to play queen takes h7, checkmate. And what are you gonna do as black? So you gotta have some confidence in how to defend this position. h6. So what my plan is, if, for example, uh, white takes the pawn on h6, I'm gonna use this pawn on h6 to as a shield and move my king there on h7. Because if white takes this pawn, the h file is blocked. And now I can transfer my beautiful bishop on e5, where it controls the e5 to h2 diagonal and still eyeing on the queen side. And it's very beautiful. But Fidel has this genius idea, well, where he played e5. Why? Because now after e5, if I take here, then now is this queen takes h6. And I'm gonna get checkmated here soon. So I cannot take with my bishop. So if I take with my knight, I think he still has this idea where he can play knight e4 and go to f6. It's one of his idea. So during the game, it's I have a problem. What do? Right? I put my bishop here to have this beautiful diagonal. He blocked it with e5. So I played d5, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, queen f2. Now he's forking my pawn and my knight on b6. Now I have to defend it. Defend the pawn on f7, defend my knight on b6. Knight takes d5, knight takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes e5, bishop takes e5. And here, during this, this was a practice tournament, but it's rated in United States Chess Federation. So when we were playing at the Webster University, sometimes my former coach, Susan Polgar, has food on the table. So you're welcome to grab some food while playing. And Fidel was getting food because he was already winning. He's getting food, and he was eating while I was playing against him. But here, I think he took the pawn, and I played king h7 to block the pawn because that was my plan. Give up the h pawn, then use the h pawn as a shield. Then he played rook e1. He was not focused on the game. So one of my message, and hopefully lesson that you can learn from this game, is you gotta know your tactics. You gotta spend those tactics. There are a lot of books that I recommend, or you can even just go to Amazon or look up like good tactics books. But you gotta learn your tactics. So I'll give you guys like 5 seconds to figure out what is the best move for black. Then let's continue the game. Okay, what is black's best move? Very simple. Bishop g3, skewer. Okay, so after bishop g3, I skewer, queen has to move, then take. And here, white cannot take because if white takes, then check, queen takes, check, queen takes c1, rook takes c1, checkmate. So if I don't review my tactics, and we have like in kind of small time trouble here, but you gotta focus your game. Or focus on your game, right? You're gonna just like not focus in your game, then suddenly you're losing. So after a4, I played bishop g3, and Fidel Corrales here resigned. All right, that was my first game that I won against a grandmaster in a rapid tournament, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. I was losing. I'm down a pawn. I'm down a pawn, but I'm still kicking. I'm still kicking. I still have a knight, queen, and rook and a bishop. But the point is, you gotta study your tactics and solve as much as you can, and if you want to improve the quickest way. Coach Joel?
Well, that was amazing. Did you say that Susan gave him food the moment he blundered?
Oh no, Coach Joel. We have food at the table, so
Oh, I see.
you're welcome to get the food on the table while playing. So maybe
Okay.
Fidel was not focusing. He was eating. He was eating. I tried to focus and trying to beat him, and he was eating like I think sandwich or something, and he was
Okay.
looking at the food and at the chessboard. So
Wow. Well, it was an epic
yeah,
game, I
that's
gotta
what
say.
happened.
Yeah, the night it was a blazing Najdorf is really complicated. Lots of lessons here for sure. But I guess, well, not just guess, but one thing for sure is that it doesn't matter if you're a grandmaster. If you lose your focus, it just takes one bad move to lose the game. Plus, knowing your tactics is especially important. Even a grandmaster fell for a simple skewer, so that means at that point he was caught off guard and he was just not paying attention to the tactics, and that costed him the game. But it was a
All
great
right.
win. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Coach Joel.
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was an epic game. And as far as I know, what is Corrales' ranking in Cuba? Is he like,
Cuba,
yeah?
I'm not sure because he already lives now here in the United States. I think in St.
Mhm.
Louis.
He
And
used to
before
be
it's
26,
Grandmaster Linger. Yeah,
2600, right? 2650 or
yeah,
something.
he's a
Yeah.
very
Wow.
strong player.
Yeah.
And if you look at the current chess life, he has the best, I think, the Grand Prix points in the United States in the whole of the United States. So,
Wow.
oh no,
Okay.
no, that was international master John Bryant, but Fidel is in the top 10, I think. So he's
Okay.
still pretty active,
Okay.
Grandmaster.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your beautiful lecture, Coach Jake, and we hope to see you soon again in our show. And thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like that video, don't forget to share and subscribe. Coach Jake, do you have any final messages for our viewers?
That's all. I hope you guys enjoy this presentation. And if you have any comments on how to improve our presentation, what topics you guys want us to talk about, and then don't forget to share it to your friends. That's all. Coach Joel?
All right. Okay. Bye, guys. See you guys later.